Hello everyone, and welcome to the Hunter Association, your source for all things Hunter x Hunter. My name is Kaige.
And my name is Dylan.
And on this week's episode, we will be talking about Hunter x Hunter 1999, episodes 87 and 88.
We're nearing the end, guys. Nearing the end.
We really are. It's surreal. Then, of course, we'll be going through our community comments. If you'd like to join in on the community and have your comment read, be sure to comment on the YouTube version on the weekly community post. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to help grow our community of Hunter x Hunter fans. Additionally, if you'd like to know when new episodes are live, click the bell to enable notifications. If you're an audio listener, make sure to rate, review, and comment on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at TXHXAPod, as well as Bluesky at THAPod for podcast-related updates and do some responses to the weekly call-out posts. If you'd like, you can also email us at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com. As always, we provide timestamps in the description if you'd like to skip ahead to any of the aforementioned segments. News, nothing, but we do have the Jump Press event tomorrow, I think?
Tomorrow. Like maybe late tomorrow? I'm not exactly sure the time. From when we're recording this, by the way. So like this is Saturday as we're talking
Yes, so I don't know, within the next 24 hours or so, I think we'll know the news, I think.
If there is any. There might not be, which would be crazy.
Yeah, there might be nothing Hunter x Hunter related there, but there will be news. I just don't know if it'll be Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, so if there is, we will not be talking about it here because we will be slightly early, but keep an eye out for the YouTube community post. I'm sure we will post something there if we hear anything at all about Hunter x Hunter there, but we'll see.
Yeah, and of course we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's no tweets or anything, which, I mean, hey, that does lead suspicion. He's being quiet, so maybe something's coming this weekend.
Maybe, we said that before, and then absolutely nothing.
I know.
So
many times.
Well, we'll see, I guess.
We will see. But in the meantime, let's talk about 99.
Yeah, let's get into it now.
Alright, everybody, welcome to our discussion on Hunter x Hunter 1999, episodes 87 and 88, starting, of course, with episode 87, Struggle, Pinch, War Declaration.
Applicable, yeah.
Yeah. So, we have had an odd experience, and maybe some of you will have shared this if you're watching through the same means that we are, but the way that we are watching is a version called the Fan Remaster, I believe.
Something like that, or just Greed Island Enhanced is what it's called.
And Greed Island Enhanced, yes. And for some reason, episodes 87 through 80 or through 91, according to a review, we have yet to verify this, I guess.
Yeah, but it's so.
But I believe
granted, this review said it started with 88, but it started with 87 for us. But it's still the same problem in that there was some audio desyncing happening in our episodes that was unfixable, and yeah, that was not a great viewing experience with that in mind.
No, it really wasn't. These were very botched viewings for the both of us. There were so many moments where I was just completely taken out of it. And yeah, I could have just went and found it somewhere else, I guess. But I didn't, and I won't.
Too late for that now.
Yeah. We're so close to the end. Whatever. It's fine. I still watched the episodes, and I understand what happened. It's just, I didn't enjoy them to their fullest extent, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Just keep that in mind as we are discussing it. Maybe we get some details wrong just because it was incredibly distracting at points to really lock in on what was happening and what was being presented to us. But we just wanted to get that out there before we actually start discussing these episodes proper.
Yes. Okay. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead. Episode 87. So, we start off where we left off with Genthru calling Sesgera, and he's just doing his whole spiel, talking about, you gotta trade me Plata Beach, or else you're fucked, it's over, I'll kill everybody. Whatever, Genthru. And then he taunts that by exclaiming that he killed the entire group that they had partnered with previously. Those legendary characters that had about, I don't know, a minute of screen time total.
Yeah, I like how they like flashed like the people to like remind us of who they looked like because they showed them for like 5 seconds in the prior episodes.
Yep, I know.
Great job.
Thank you for that. Dude, this batch and just this part of the arc in general just always makes me realize that the pacing of this arc is just insanity. Like,
Yeah, but
what?
like
What
it's
the hell is this?
it makes for a really like funny segment of this though, and like not in a good way necessarily, but like I always find it so amusing just like how pissed off Gon gets at like these people being killed when like he barely knew them at all. He didn't even talk to them really.
Yeah, this is something we've talked about many times in the past. I'm sure you're sick of it, but just this, so it's such an artificial conflict happening between Gon and Genthru. Like, these two characters had literally nothing to do with each other at all until right this second. And now all of a sudden he cares just because. And yeah, I know he killed people. That's bad. I know. I understand that. But like, it's just so crazy to me that this one thing is enough for us to. At least the expectation is for us to be like, hell yeah, go and kick his ass. Let's go. I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, like we're supposed to find it believable that like this means so much to Gon and is like that personal to him, but like to us the viewer and the reader, like no, it like I don't understand at all. Actually, you know, like it makes no sense to me.
It just doesn't work. Genthru is such an odd character. Check out our Genthru retrospective.
True.
Anyways, he sets a meeting point for them. Masador, I think he wants to meet them there to do the trade, and if he doesn't show up, then or else, basically.
Yeah.
Watch out. So then they says Gara's like, okay, forget the alliance per se. I have a different plan, which I don't think we get to hear about immediately, or ever directly, really.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of like learn about it through like context clues over the course of the episode, I believe. Or
yeah.
No, actually, we learn about the gist of it here. Now that I'm remembering, again, this is kind of the side effect of the viewing experience being kind of
especially the beginning of this episode. I was still trying to like play catch up with my mind to figure out what was even going on. Like at first I was like, did they just ship it like this? Is this really what the episode was like? Like on DVD?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like, no, there's no way, right? Like, and then yeah, I confirmed it with Kaige as I was watching the episode. We happened to be watching at the same time too.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
It just happened to be.
But yeah, it was fucked. I don't know what it was. But that being said, yeah, we kind of learn about what they're planning to do now that Genthru is kind of after them. And by the way, right before that, Gon almost completely destroyed like the entire chance, like every chance of them being able to get out of this, because he almost just he screamed out loud, "I Genthru, I'll take you on right now," like, as if that's a believable reaction, but sure. But luckily they cut off contact right as he yelled that out, obviously.
It was actually, they cut him off. He yelled that, he heard that, and then he was about to say that he has the real copy of Plot of Beach.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's what they had to cut him off, yeah.
You're right, yeah.
That would have been bad. But he didn't hear it, thankfully.
So, this is actually kind of weird, because we cut away briefly before they actually discuss their plan to like counteract this to Hisoka, which we actually do see a few more times throughout these couple episodes. Which, I guess we were wrong about thinking that we saw the last of him in the last batch.
Yeah, no, he's still around just a little bit, but it's not too substantial of a scene here. He just meets up with
Shalnark.
Yes, Shalnark, who tells him
they found
that's right. Yeah, they didn't meet up here either. It was a phone call through the book.
Just contact said, "Hey, I found the Nen Exorcist."
They found the Nen Exorcist. And then, shortly we'll see them meet up.
Yeah. Not before we come back to the gang here, trying to figure out how they beat the bomber.
Right. So, basically, the gist of this is that Sesgera is going to distract him for 10 days? Something? Or
3
2 weeks? 3 weeks. Sorry, 10 days is a later time. Yes, 3 weeks. They're going to stall for 3 weeks, which is so insane. Like, how? I mean, we literally see how, but that's just incredible patience.
Yeah. But this to be fair, goes to show Sesguera's kind of like strategic planning skills, and that he recognizes, okay, based off of what we know, Genthru thinks that we have the real plot of Beach, and that, you guys just hold a copy. So, here's what we're gonna do. I can't beat Genthru. You guys probably have the best chance of even doing anything to him. So, we are gonna just distract them for 3 weeks here. While they think that we have the real plot of Beach, and you guys are going to train your ass off so that you can actually beat him after we run out of time.
Yes.
That's the entire gist of the plan there.
And he also lectures going real quick about how his outburst was very selfish.
Yeah. And it's funny how they just, like, end their entire, like, meeting here with, like, yeah, that was really selfish, by the way, going, like, you could have, like, killed your friends. And he's like, oh, sorry. And he's like, it is what it is. And then just dips. Like, okay, no goodbye or anything. Damn, man. All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're gone for now. We'll see them again shortly. Mm-hmm. And now we're back with Hisoka and the gang. It's all the gang. We meet up with pretty much all of the troop. Bonolanov's there with his weird freak outfit still.
Why did they never change him out of that, dude? It's so surprising to me.
I keep meaning to go back and look in the manga to see if he was still wearing this, but I'm pretty sure the answer is no. I don't know.
But maybe.
I'd be so surprised if his outfit change happens in Chimera Ant, because, like, no way. I feel like I'd remember him wearing this longer.
I guess it's possible, though. I don't know.
It's possible. He isn't. I don't even think he speaks until Chimera Ant, to be fair. So, like, I guess I probably wouldn't have even noticed.
But
whatever. I don't know. Anyway.
Something about this shot in particular, though, this might be the closest we've ever seen him to the camera in this adaptation.
Yes.
And he looks like an actual, like, freakazoid proper in this shot, standing next to Phaeton here. Dude, holy shit.
If anybody's ever played Soul Calibur here, he reminds me a lot of Voldo. Looks almost exactly like him. Anyhow, they are just talking about how, they found the Nen Exorcist, and that they're going to leave Hisoka to track him down. Or to, not track him down, they already found him, but to yeah. Uh-huh.
AKA, get him to Kirkrolo or else.
Right. Yeah. Any means necessary. So he goes and scopes him out, sees him, and then he calls attention to somebody lurking in the shadows behind him. Which we learn is Kaluto.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's there's this scene where he's
I was about to say,
yeah, I wanted to call attention to this. I forgot about it till now. But he's like playing around with his telescope in his hand, like near his crotch, and he's talking about like what does he say?
He's like highly sensitive right now. Like he really wants to like, fight, like extremely enjoyable battles, so he could kill anybody right now,
Yeah, that's a fun visual gag. I thought that was clever.
It is very uncomfortable, but like that is very clearly the point, and I don't think this specific scene happened in any other adaptation. So you know what? I'll give 99 points for that. Unless it did happen in the manga and it just wasn't obvious or I didn't see it. But
I'm not sure. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the manga to some extent.
In any case, 99 presented it well. Kudos. Also, I gotta say, Hisoka sounded a lot more like Hisoka in these two scenes. I don't know if you picked up on that too, but
no, yeah. Ever since the dodgeball game started proper, he's looked and sounded much better. His clothing is still really lame because it's just a solid color, but his face and hair is much, much better, and voice.
Yeah, very bizarre how that happened.
I don't know what's going on. He was checked out.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's able to intuit that Kaluto's ability is how they found the Nen Exorcist to begin with, and Kaluto confirms that that is the case, but not going to reveal anything else about the ability. Just that, something I did made this happen.
This is also where they reveal that Kabuto is Hisoka's replacement in the troop.
Yes. Which is still a very interesting thing that we know very little about to this day.
Yeah. Probably. I don't know if we ever will learn anything really substantial about that at this point, but
who knows? Yeah, I don't know what Togashi's priorities are. And then, yeah, they have the little talk with Machi where she ends up being like, yeah, I mean, I'll hunt you down and kill you myself if I have to. Interesting.
very.
Then, back to Genthru shenanigans. This is the iconic part of the arc where we have a lot of accompany ons happening. So, yeah, it basically is just how you would expect. They approach, Sesgera approaches Genthru and the gang, taunts them. They leave, they go to wherever the hell, doesn't really matter where.
It was like
They follow
basketball or
them.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and then rinse and repeat.
And I gotta say, like, they didn't really do a great job at hiding the animation shortcuts they're doing for these, and like it's literally the same scenes repeating of like Genthru saying like, you know, like accompany on says Gara, you know, and it's just like the same animations like looping like 2 or 3 times in a row.
I know, every single time they do it, it's the same thing. Also, I neglected to mention that back a little while ago, Garenu said that he would assist with Sesgera, and what he's doing is buying cards. He's just buying out every single Accompany and Magnetic Force that he can.
Yep, something to slow down Genthru's group so that they also have to obtain more Accompany on cards, and you know that'll last a little bit more time, you know, or create a little bit more time for them to install them.
Yep. You know how it goes. Then back to Gon and Kilo and Bluesky, who are training. It's just training. There's not really much to note here in particular. They're just practicing. Bluesky does a handstand.
I want to say it was really funny with the audio desyncing created a really funny moment here where it looked like to us Sesgera was like still finishing his sentence, and then you hear like the punching sounds from Bluesky trying to punch Gon. It looked like he was just
mouth is
out
still moving. Yeah. That part was cracking me up.
And it was like so loud too, so it like jump scared me almost.
It's very if you didn't watch this way, guys, it is really hard to adequately explain how bad the desync was, but it was awful.
It was literally like 3 seconds ahead of, you know, where when their mouths were actually doing the movements for said audio.
It's like a bad like live action dub, like where the lips start moving but they don't start talking until like a second later or vice versa.
Yeah.
It's dreadful. Anyhow, yep, handstand, and then she shows the aura lift-off thing where she propels herself in the air with just her aura with one hand. And then now she's like, yeah, do that yourself.
Yep, just do it.
Just do it.
Top.
Get to it. And obviously he cannot, but he tries.
Mm-hmm. And he will keep trying.
He will keep trying. Bluesky then has a conversation with Killua about his hands, being like, yeah, I mean, they're not going to be healed in time for the fight, but I guess you can use them to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wonders what her ability is. And this is our first look at Cookie. And, I mean, she looks like Cookie. I don't know what else to say about her.
She is Cookie.
It's Cookie. And she's just explaining all the things that Cookie can do, including curing constipation.
Yeah, that's a new one. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. That's pretty convenient, I gotta say.
Poor circulation too. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, she can do it all. And Killua does not give a shit and says it's completely useless. And then they get in a shouting match.
Classic.
Typical. Yeah. Classic, yeah. So training continues for a while, and then we cut to the nighttime where the polycule is sleeping with each other. Of course. And then there's like actually a cool like bro moment where an arrow's flying at Sub and or Bara, and the other Sub and or Bara grabs the arrow before it hits his face, which is pretty cool. That looked awesome. Good job.
Yeah, not gonna lie.
It's kind of clean. It made them look competent for like 1 second.
Especially like that's appreciative, especially for like the like Sub and Bar specifically, because they always read to me whenever I forget about scenes like this. It's just like Genther's goons, like they are just like, completely useless.
Yeah,
I
no
don't know why he even
personality.
has them around, you know. But
Literally.
this shows at least a little bit of camaraderie, you know. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
this is a group and they care about each other, you know. Like I don't exactly still see the reasons why, but they do, you know. So
They do care about each other. It's a double-edged sword because I guess I don't really care, but I wouldn't mind knowing like how these guys met and like why they started doing what they do.
yeah. And maybe that's the other thing that just like has been off to me about this group in general is like their motivations didn't really make a lot of sense to me. Like, yes, they want like the reward for Green Island, like clearing it, but like why? You know,
They're just like the classic. It's just like a your Dio type, like just an asshole for no reason with very little substance behind it. It's just they suck, and that's pretty much all there is to it.
It just stands out in the world where like everybody has
exactly,
you know.
Yeah, I know. It's such a, but in some ways you can say that's a cool thing about them. Like it makes them unique to this world because there really aren't any antagonists that are this simple. But when it's a major antagonist, it's a little bit of a bummer. But then also think you got Razor in the arc, so does it balance out? I don't know. I'm not the guy to make that call, but Genthru isn't the worst character ever. I feel like we come across as too hard on him a lot. He's not awful. It's just he's very lackluster.
Yeah.
That's even more amplified with Sub and Bara. Those guys are literally nothing. So yeah, it's just the strategy, Sesgera's strategy in play. They keep trying to attack and bait them.
Mm-hmm. Not giving them a chance to rest. They most likely have somebody with a radar like Nen ability, so they can evade them no matter what they do, you know.
Yes, which turns out to be the case.
Yep. So Genthru's strategy here, to counteract that is, he's like, well, it's gonna be a little rough, but we're gonna get more company than they can, and they will run out first before we do, and then that's when we take the cards.
Yeah, that's the plan. They want to burn up all the cards so that they're the only ones that have them left, and then they win.
And it's going to be a piece kicker for them because they're just going to kill people to get those cards. They don't got to earn shit.
But Sesgera on the other side is just saying, like, all according to plan. We got this. No sweat. No problem.
3 weeks. We're going to do it.
We got this. Back to Gon, who is still trying to take flight. It ain't happening.
Gotta say, I love the sweat falling to the ground that's immediately evaporating. How hot does it have to be?
It's gotta be hot as hell. And then that's when we learned that there are 10 days left. This is where the 10 days number was coming from earlier. But there are 10 days left now until the deadline. And Gon still can't even do anything.
No.
He's trying, guys.
He's trying his best.
Then the bomber gang is just killing people. That's pretty much all I have to say about that scene.
They censored that guy that got killed again. Why are they censoring this shit now when they didn't do it for the first victim? Why? What the hell?
It's so confusing. I don't know. I really don't.
Such a bummer, man. That was like the one thing I was looking forward to about the bombers since they started the whole thing with this arc. The fact that they just didn't censor that guy in the first place.
I know. That gave me so much hope.
Yeah, it looked gnarly too. That's why I was so excited.
I
was
know.
like, okay, like I don't really care for Gentru that much, but if I get to see some cool like mangled corpses to make him a little more menacing, sure, But no,
yeah.
Sadly not.
And then so we just have a bunch of a company gathering and exchanging. The amount of times you see the Accompany card in these 2 episodes is staggering. I will never forget what that card looks like for as long as I live.
Never. I'm horrible at remembering Great Island cards, but this one now, I think it'll stick for a little bit at least.
Then we see going again. This part is exhausting to recap. I'm not gonna lie. But,
I'm sorry, guys.
progress is happening. Going like jumped a little bit, and then we see Bluesky looking at a big crater in the wall, and she's like, "You think this will do?" Kilo's like, "Oh yeah,
a big
I think
boulder, actually.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure. That's what it looks like to me. It's like protruding from the wall. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
that factors into the actual fight too. Remember with like.
This is the rock you'll use later. Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll do, guys. That's like 20 times taller than you. You know, like.
I think that'll do. Yeah. Huh. I never knew there was a scene of them getting the rock. I wonder if this is 99 original.
It might be. I'm not really sure. Again, Greed Island is like the worst art for me to like try and like remember specific details.
Oh my god, I know.
Yeah.
I can't remember shit about this arc.
Either way, I guess that would make sense. You know, especially if in terms of like Kilo and Bluesky doing stuff, because like, what prep can they do? Especially Kilo with his fucked up hands. You know. So.
Yeah. Okay. Then the final chase sequence, they do it. It happens.
They do it.
They do it. It's like a kind of cool animation moment where they both use Accompany at the same time, and then like the beams kind of clash in the air for a sec.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That looked neat. I thought that was cool. They have 5 days left now. Gon still can't do anything.
No, he get a little puff of dust from his hand. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And time's up. Training's over. You're done. Great progress.
So, yeah. Meanwhile, says Gara, they ran out of cards, and all they have left are the leave cards. So now their idea is to lure Gen through to the real world, and we'll ambush them there with all the soldiers or whatever.
Yeah, they're all gonna be there, right? You know.
Oh yeah, they got this. Foolproof plan.
Yep, for sure.
So they get to the real world and nobody's there.
It is dead empty in there. There is
darkness,
no signs of life.
Nobody there.
You know how like. You know how much despair I would be in if I was a part of Sisgara's group here, and we come back to that.
That'd be so fucking killer. God.
Oh my God. Like, that's terrifying. Like, dude, like, where is everybody? This is, like, awful. What? Just a couple months ago, like, it was like, you know, this place was popping, right? Like,
yeah.
We got a whole new group in here that was hired on.
And then we end the episode with them seeing Batera alone in a room watching a video of some sort. We don't see the video at all.
It's like static TV to us.
Yeah.
But he's like crying, you know, sobbing pretty much.
And that's that episode.
It was fine.
It was fine. Honestly, like animation wise, I'll say it was totally harmless. Like it looked pretty consistent. I didn't think anything was bad. It was fine. It was a totally fine episode.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to mess up because it's so like there's not a lot of things happening that would require good animation. But
no, yeah. I mean, it was literally just like half of the episode was just the accompany on visuals, you know. So like,
yeah, that's actually true.
That's pretty much it. You can't really mess any of that up. I think
you're so right. Literally, it's like an even split, 50-50 between accompany and Gon handstand. That's all of the real estate of the screen on this episode.
But even with that in mind, like they did an okay. They you know, nothing stood out as like, you know, visually really bad. You know, even with like the Gon handstand stuff, they did some cool visual shots with like, you know, you seeing like Gon's like legs up in the air and like Bluesky and Kilo in the background. You know, like cool framing of things, I guess, or at least like, you know, unique stuff. And then, you know, voice work as much as I could, you know, judge it from the audio desyncing happening on my end. But it felt pretty fine too, especially for Hisoka and the troop. I thought was, you know, Hisoka sound the most like Hisoka since the TV run, I thought, which was pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. He's getting back in his groove.
Way too late now, but
way too late. I don't even know if he'll have another line, but we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. Yeah. It was a fine episode. not a lot I could nitpick out of it necessarily, but not the most entertaining stuff in the world. Also, just setting up for the final conflict, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that brings us now to episode 88, Stakeout, Preparation, Battle Start.
Yeah, seems right.
We open with Patera watching this video, which is of a woman in a river, and she's kind of like playing around, tossing water at... Wait, what?
So she's splashing water at the camera guy in the video, and then picks up the camera. I gotta say, the animation of like the camera like falling over looked like shit, but that's okay.
It did. It did look really rough.
It looked like something you'd find in like a PS1 cutscene.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the first thing that came to mind. But yeah, then she turns the camera around and it's Patera. So like, oh, that is relevant to him in some way.
Yeah.
So,
something's going on.
Something happened.
So then we get back to the present where Sesgera walks in the room and sees this happening, and he's like, "What? What's going on, man?
What the fuck are you doing?
You good?" And Patera's just like, "I've canceled all the armed soldiers. Everything's off. Forget all this. It's over. It's done."
Yeah, and reasonably so. Sesgera's like, dude, we put in like 20 years of work for you. What are you talking about? It's over.
Dude, Sesgera is a much better man than I, because, oh my god, the crash out I'd be having here would be historical. Like, are you kidding me? 20 years of my life I spent on you, bro. You're not going to tell me this right now. Oh my god.
To which Patera just simply replies, like, I'll pay you through my lawyers. Like, you can do whatever you want with the cards. Like, I'm done, man. I would be... I don't know what I'd be doing in that situation, truthfully.
At least I get the money.
Some of the money.
Yeah, some of it.
Anyways, he's like, Patera's having a crash out of his own, like, during this all, and it's like,
yeah.
Oh my God, like,
he's having a breakdown. He's just like, please leave me alone, holding his head, crying. And then we see Genthru and the gang enter the real world.
Weirdly enough, I believe there is a difference with at least 2011. I don't know if this was the same case as it was in the manga, but at least in 2011, I believe like the head guard of Patera was like still there, and he was able to like explain to Sesgera's group like why the soldiers weren't there. And Genthru actually ends up like killing that like the head of security there. I can't remember his name. It started with like an S or something. But like that character is not here in the 99 version, which I thought was interesting.
I'm curious about this and one other thing. I'm gonna go grab the volume, start talking about the episode a little bit. Hold on.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, so Genthru and the Polycule show up into Patera's castle, and they see how empty it is. They're like, okay, well, we can fight all we want here, since their data's not going to be affected if they die. So let's get the show on the road, basically. And that's when we cut back into Great Island after the title card. So more on that here soon. But we cut back to Gon, Killua, and Bluesky, revealing through here, by the way, that it's been 10 days now since Sesgera and his group left the game. And that there's only 5 days left until the 3 weeks are up. So I believe the idea was that like it'd be like 10. I think it's like 10 days after you leave the game that like your data just kind of like goes kaput in the game or something like that, which is I believe why the time frame's the way it is. But yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it's a 10-day limit before your progress is erased. Mm-hmm. So for one, the rock, the finding the rock is in the manga.
Oh, good to know.
So that's there. And for two, the real life stuff. Let's see here. Crashing out. Where is this even? Oh god, wait, they're already back in the game here.
Oh, whoa, what the hell? Did it happen before? Were they like reordering stuff here? That's interesting.
No, this happens very, very fast. Wait, what? So, what? I don't even think Genthru goes to the real world in the manga.
Wait, really? Did they just like, oh, they left the game. Okay, we wait for them. Like at the entrance, that's it? Huh.
Yeah. It looks, or wait, maybe I went ahead too far.
Oh,
Maybe that's what happened.
Hold on momentarily, everybody. Take this.
Okay, here it is. Sorry, yeah, I just went too far. Yep, the head guard guy is still there.
Okay, and then
It's
kills them, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's not here in 99. That's really odd.
Just cut. Weirdly enough.
That's like the weirdest thing you could cut, I think. Because, like, why wouldn't you want to give another body count to get through here? Like, before this final conflict, you know? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, that is really strange.
They didn't want to animate him blowing someone up again, I guess. I don't know.
I guess.
That's bizarre to me. But okay, yeah. Fun fact for you guys now. Hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah. Okay, so Gon is practicing, or wait, sorry, what part did you talk about? My bad.
So I just mentioned that they cut back to Gon, Killua, and Bluesky, and they're talking about how it's been 10 days since Gara.
Okay.
Since Gara's group left the game, you know, they wonder how he's doing. It's only 5 days left. And just kind of talking about the status right now of everything.
Okay, so yeah, Gon has a new training exercise where he has to stop a stopwatch at the 1 second mark. I
Exactly
believe.
1 second.
Yeah, exactly 1 second. So that's his new handstand. He's just trying that continuously. Meanwhile, Genthru is staking out the outside. Did they? Wait a minute. Did they do the?
So they reveal later that they did look for everybody in there and they didn't
Okay.
find anybody. Yes, but right now, yeah, this is very weirdly ordered and it doesn't make a lot of sense from a viewer perspective. So we see them enter the game, and be like, all right, we can fight in here without any like restraint, and then the next time we see them, they're waiting outside the entrance.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Why did they do it like that?
I don't know, but yeah. So we find out here that Garenu is like spying on them as they're doing this, and he's gonna be able to relay the info to Gon and the others. But yeah, the Polycule's just waiting outside the entrance versus Gara.
Yeah, they're playing the long game, which is crazy. I what a waste of time. Mm-hmm. But whatever. I guess they see it as a good use of their time because they have one of the last cards they need.
Yeah.
But little do they know it's literally impossible to even see them here.
Yeah. So whatever. But Garenu is basically telling them they're not going to come back in until I give them the go ahead. Like, it's safe, you can come back in. Bluesky points out that their card data is going to disappear. Like, won't it? But Garenu reveals that he kept all the important cards. So they're not at risk of losing those cards specifically. He's sure that Genthru's checking the card numbers with his abilities or whatnot. But I don't know. There's a lot of weird factors going into how this strategy is coming up, and this is a problem that I have with the source material just as a whole. Just the pacing is just way too fast to keep up with all these intricacies.
Yeah, there's so many mechanics of Greed Island in use that aren't even really adequately explained, at least in the anime adaptations.
Yeah. So just the fact you probably have maybe even forgotten that you could transfer cards to other players and have them keep them while those other players leave the game. It's very weird stuff that you wouldn't really think about until it's actually brought up here. So it all is a lot to process. But the gist of it is that Garenu has all the important cards of Sesgera's group. Genthru is still, for one reason or another, thinking that those cards, even if he sees those cards, they'll be dispensed to other allies of Sesgera or whatever. But their goal right now is making sure that all of their game data just gets deleted from the game, basically. So that they can go focus on Gon and the others.
Yep. And that's exactly what they do. And also during this waiting period, they cut back to them in the real world, And yeah, we just see that they went there and nobody was there. They intuit that something unexpected happened and their ambush failed.
Genthu was really spot on with this analysis too. Just like shocking, given the little information he had. He's like, I see. They were planning to leave us here and let the armed soldiers take us. Okay.
Yeah, I see.
Did you even know there were armed soldiers here? Like, what kind of how are you that spot on?
I don't know, man. He's just that guy. He's so smart. So, the time comes where Sesgera's, his data's erased. So they're like, yippee.
Yippee.
They're like, now we just gotta kill some kids. Let's go.
Let's go.
Easy. So they take off, and Garenu reports that they took off back to the others.
And also reveals to them also that, that he has pretty much all of the 96 cards that Sesgera's group has collected. So, all of the cards are there, It's just a matter of, making sure that Genthu is defeated so that he doesn't get all of them,
Yep.
And then this is where they reveal that, Garenu has, a specific card, that they'll give him, once they beat Genthu, and he's like, yeah, just beat Genthu first, and, I'll be, you can hand it off after that. But I can't, sorry that I can't help you fight him. My bad. I don't know if black and white Garenu would be much of help anyways, but,
Probably not. So, then while they're having that conversation with Garenu, after it ends, rather, Bluesky asked Gon if he was still doing the stopwatch thing, and he was, and he did it right on time. So,
woohoo! Good job, Gon.
Good job, Gon. You did it. Then, back in the real world in Batera's mansion, we finally have the scene where he tells them what the hell is going on. And, I mean, Sesgera is just rightfully so like, look, we just need to know. We're not satisfied with you just being like, this is over. Again, 20 years.
20 goddamn years. I want to point out before we talk about this even further, though, he pulled a whole ass picture frame out of his shirt pocket. How did that fit in there? And how did it fit it so seamlessly where you wouldn't notice there's a giant picture frame in your shirt?
Every shirt has a picture frame pocket.
Ah, of course. Maybe his chest is just that big,
Maybe.
It's just that big of a pocket.
It's possible. But yeah, he pulls that out and he's like, yeah, I saw this. So what's up, man? Just like your daughter, your granddaughter. It's like, nah, that's my girlfriend. And I love how visibly they're all like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I didn't expect that out of you, man. Like, okay. You dog.
And yeah, he gives this whole sad backstory about how, they loved each other for who they were. She didn't care about people thinking that she was just after the inheritance money and all that. Whatever, she liked the crude gifts that he made instead of money or whatever. Who cares? It doesn't really matter.
TLDR, he was gonna give up his inheritance and be with her forever, and then she got into an accident, car accident to be presumed, given the sound effect.
Yes.
And she was put into a coma, and then Batera made it. He heard about Green Island, about how you could get cards in there that could cure all sorts of illnesses and whatnot. So he made it his life's mission to try and get a team to clear Green Island to get those cards to save her life.
Yes.
Can you guess what happened in between Sesgera's group and all the new hires going into the game and now?
Yeah, she died.
Yeah.
So, damn. 20 years of a coma and then you die. What a shame.
That is crazy.
So yeah, he's just defeated and feels like everything's pointless. He doesn't really give a shit anymore. There's no point.
Mm-hmm. The dream is dead. Everything you are working towards is no use now. That's what he says. So, what's the point? He doesn't need them.
Yep. So, Sesgera is just like, all right, well, I mean, that's that.
Yeah, shit. I don't know. So this is where Sesgera, now Sesgera group is like, okay, what now? What the fuck do we do? And this is where Sesgera's like, well, Batera agreed to pay 70% as penalty of breaching the contract. That makes it about 35 billion instead of 50 billion. and we're gonna pay Gurenu some of that money, for helping us, and that's that.
It's that.
It's like,
Yep. So
they're like, what about the cards? And he's like, well, I entrust them to
Leave
go
it
and Killua. Trust them to do it. Do the thing. So
yeah,
we're
and
done with the game, guys. Have fun.
this is Togashi just wiping his hands of the arc. Like, this is like everything is just done here. Okay, let's just fight Genthru. Don't worry about anything else. Nothing else matters.
Nothing else. Again, like ever since Genthru contacted them, you could tell that's where Togashi decided, okay, we're just gonna like speed through the arc now. Like, I've done what I wanted to do here. I'm ready to move on.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so funny how fast everything goes now. And also the fact that like this is him wiping his hands clean of Sesgera too, because he did not know what to do with this character going forward. I think.
No, apparently not.
You see him in chairman election art getting like 16th place somehow, and like that's it.
Good job, Sesgera.
Doesn't say a single word from here on out, basically.
Okay, so now a relatively pointless scene happens where Gurenu, not Gurenu, wow, Genthru,
The other G.
and the other G, the Polycule heads over to Gon and the gang, and he's like, I'm actually awesome now. We made a deal with Sesgera. He's going to give me all his cards and money in life, and I'm going to beat the game. So
yeah, so he told me that, those are my cards now,
Yeah, so, how about we just make a deal and it's all be good.
I like my headcanon is that, like, and this is probably the case regardless, like, that, like, Genthru, like, knew they wouldn't accept that. He's just doing that just to mess with them.
Yeah, probably. I would too, honestly.
Yeah, like, at that point, like, I'd be feeling cocky too. Shit, like, everything's going according to plan.
Yeah. But obviously they do not believe him, so they just, they want to fight. So
I like how he tries the aura farm right before everything goes down too, where he's like, "Oh, don't do that! Don't piss me off! I'll kill you!"
The demons are fighting back.
Yeah, he thinks he looks so fucking bad there. He thinks he ate that shit.
He does, bro.
Like, I'm not joking. He does like the hand over face and everything.
He does.
Like he thinks he's all that. Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, they use Accompany, get away, and then they follow, and they just chase them, and the running, by the way, looks pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad.
Not bad. And they just they get them to like this random spot in the forest and taunt them and get them to break off from each other.
Now this is where the running and the chasing kind of sours a little bit for me, because the way so many of these scenes end up with them like running into like the background with like the digital animation going on, it looks a little rough, I think.
It does.
They kind of just disappear randomly at points, and like it doesn't look like they're actually running behind objects, more so as like they're just kind of like, I don't know, like everything is so static, it just looks kind of off, right?
Yeah.
Animation wise though, aside from that, it's kind of like just stock standard stuff. Like you have your like Naruto-esque like tree running scenes, basically, so.
Yeah, that's probably the weakest part of the chase, but it happens. It wasn't bad though, all around, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, but eventually they do break off. Now that they're kind of getting them cornered, and we're setting up the one-on-one fights now for this final conflict.
Yep. So it's going and getting through, and then the others.
The others.
Bluesky does her whole like sweet innocent girl act to bait them again. And we have Killua, doing some kicks and stuff. Looks all right, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. He does all like, Bluesky, run for it. She's like, but. Like, that's she doesn't know what she's doing.
I loved that.
Yeah.
And then we have the funniest scene I've ever seen in my life. So it gets all like white and dramatic, speed lines everywhere, trying to do something cool. but it's just Genthru reaching out at Gon. He hits it away, and then whatever, he just says some nonsense. And we end the episode with, like, I don't know, 20 different, like, boom, boom. As it just, like, zooms in on Gon's eyes and Genthru's face, the ground, his shoes, whatever else, over and over until the episode runtime runs out.
It's
so
literally like,
stupid.
imagine like the Vine boom sound effect, or
Yeah.
like something very close to that, and it's just like, yeah, just cutting back to go and get through. It's like, oh my god, this is like the biggest battle ever about to happen here. It was very One Piece-esque.
Yeah, oh my god, it was very One Piece. That was so funny, dude. They were just padding the runtime.
Yeah.
And even before that, the scene with the grab was just like so slow. It wasn't even really like you couldn't take it seriously.
I know what they were trying to go for, and like kind of like trying to like showcase the speed of going reacting to like Genthru's like, you know, bombing attempt, you know, but
yeah,
it just like the way they stylized it didn't really work for that. I thought it looked a little goofy, but
yes.
very, very odd ending sequence there. This came off more funny than anything.
It really did. So that's that. It ends with that Vine boom sequence. Yeah, another fine episode. No big complaints. It was just okay. I don't know.
The problem with these episodes is that there really isn't like a lot to talk about, like animation wise, especially because it's like very simple stuff being presented here. The main highlights being the chases and like the accompany on stuff, you know, like,
yeah.
But everything else is like purely just like talking and just like, you know, little shots of training and a lot of stuff that like major like complaints and or like, you know, like just things to note are just like the writing of the source material in general. So not really a lot to say about the 99 adaptation specifically, I think. Aside from the weird thing of getting through not killing a soldier that was the head soldier that was in Batera's castle. That's still so odd for me, you know?
Yeah, I don't know why they removed that. It also, like... Because the whole scene of him, like, figuring out, like, what happened in the anime here, like, they could have just not done that. They could have shown how he actually learned what was going on rather than have him, like, unbelievably figure out exactly what happened.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Detail.
They meant to ambush us with the soldiers here. Like, how did you know there were soldiers here? That shit is empty. Like...
I do not know, dude. So yeah, just some weird adaptation decisions, but it was fine. I don't know. It was harmless.
I can't bring myself to really like dog on any one thing in particular here, aside from maybe the trees, like or like the disappearing into the background stuff, like
yeah,
the tree chase sequence at the end, and the vine boom, obviously, you know.
Yes, that scene was hilarious.
That was funny. In like definitely a bad way,
yes.
You know, but I at least laughed, so that's something.
Yeah, on the whole, I really do think these episodes were pretty harmless. I'm not gonna say they were outright bad or anything. Like, I had a fine enough time watching them. I don't know.
Audio desync aside, too.
Well, yes. Aside from that, that was rough. But I'm not gonna blame the actual thing on that.
No, that's gonna make watching the actual fights like in themselves very weird. By the way, if the audio desync does continue like that. Not really looking forward to that, but...
By the way, I will say, the next episode preview, it looked pretty good. I don't know if you watched it, but
I watched a hint of it, but it did look good from the little bit I saw of it.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with the style.
We'll see if it carries over, I guess.
Yeah. Not next week, but the week after.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a character to expect next week. Tune into the end of the video to find out who.
Yes, that's right.
Do not skip.
Yeah.
Watch the entire video. Up our runtime.
Yeah.
You know, our viewer runtime, please.
Please. All right. I think that's pretty much all we got to say about these episodes ourselves, but let's go ahead and see what you guys had to say.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's waste no time. Okay, now it's time to read what you guys have to say about Hunter x Hunter 1999 episodes 87 and 88. Usual reminder, if you want to get in on the fun discussing any given content week to week, make sure you keep an eye out for the YouTube community posts, as well as the call-out posts on Twitter and Bluesky. And of course, if you want to email us your thoughts, you can always do so at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com. So, we have a lot of comments to go through today, so, let's get started. Let's waste no time. Starting off with Milu Kitty from Bluesky. Hi, Dylan and Kaige. How are you doing? Doing pretty good.
Not bad.
It's been a good week,
bad.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a long day today, especially. I had my parents visiting this weekend, so that was fun. All right, episode 9. Rip these people. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Gon is stupid. Why would he do that, man? Talking about he's a boy. He's irrational.
You don't be thinking much.
You don't be thinking. There's not a lot of activity going on up there, unfortunately. Poor Killua, his hands are messed up. Sisgera is right in lecturing Gon. Provoking the enemy in that situation is absurd. Yeah, it really is, and that was the point of that. That's the first real showcase. Well, you could argue definitely.
Oh, there's plenty more before that.
Yeah, there's plenty more showcase, but this is like a first big spelling it out to us. I think that hey, Gon, you're kind of being a little selfish here, putting your friends in danger. You know, you could argue even for that it was in our face with the Killua dodgeball stuff, but.
This is, I think, probably the first time it's literally spelled out to us by somebody. I think.
Yes. Yeah. It was implied by Sesgera. I mean, it was implied that Sesgera thought it was kind of fucked up to be putting Killua in that situation with the dodgeball game. But you could open that to interpretation of well, Gon is this is the only way to win. So there's a bit of leeway there. I think in forgiving Gon for that as the viewer. But this is the first real showcase, I think, where it's obvious, okay, Gon, that was pretty fucking stupid,
Yeah. And I just love, sorry, I'm going to go on a small tangent, but I just love that, Gon's stupidity isn't, always a comedic thing. It's really, it's cool to see, because, I think of people Goku in Part 1, obviously Gon and Goku are very, very similar characters, at least Part 1 Goku. And nobody's ever Goku, you're such a moron. Oh my god, you fucked everything up because of what you just did. He usually gets off the hook because he's Goku. He's the lovable, goofy guy. But here we have Gon doing something stupid in a kind of comedic way. He's just yelling and screaming in an anime way. And then somebody is actually dude, that was the dumbest thing I've seen in my life. What are you doing? I respect the hell out of that. It's not just a bit. It's actually a real thing, and it does tie into the narrative later in a very, very well done way.
Yeah, and it's cool to see it evolve in that way, where earlier in the series, he was getting off the hook scot-free because it wasn't really ultimately mattering a whole lot. There were skill levels above any kind of conflict they could have even been in when Gon was doing that in the Hunter exam, But here, I mean, Sisgera literally spells it after him, dude, lucky out, Xandrite must be on your side today because, you could have died if Genthru heard, you had that,
Yeah.
He would immediately change plans and you would be cooked. There would be no stopping that. So it is really cool to see.
Yeah.
Back to Milu Kitty's comment, though. I don't know how they managed to do that, but every time Bonolanov appears, he's freakier than the last. Why?
That's really true.
It's like the bondage thing happening on his body. It's it's getting rustier and rustier as I don't know what is happening there.
Bro, change those.
Yeah.
Get new ones.
Kaluto, my creepy little guy, and this the last we'll see of him.
Yeah, actually.
Back to Sesgera. They will spend all their money fleeing from a weird guy who enjoys blowing people to bits. Honestly, sounds like a nightmare. I mean, yeah, that's what they got to do,
Yes, needs to be done.
Nice soundtrack. Feels like a video game. I can't remember. There was a specific music piece. I can't remember where it was that played, but it was in one of these episodes that I actually thought okay, this is kind of stands out to me a little bit. I watched this way earlier today, so I'm struggling to remember where it was. Maybe it was in Batera's castle, maybe? I don't remember.
To me, there was there's a little bit of tonal whiplash, I thought, because the music that plays while Batera's explaining his whole backstory, I thought that sucked, in a non-fitting way. The music itself was fine. It just didn't fit what we were looking at. It was too, neutral sounding. It wasn't, sad or like evoking any emotion.
You know, I think that was the track that I had in mind because I wasn't saying it was standing up to me in like a good way, but like it was notable to me just because how lackluster the rest of the soundtrack has been. So I was like, wait, this kind of stands out. But I agree, it definitely wasn't exactly fitting for the situation, you know.
Yeah.
But it was it was fine enough sounding. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. Yeah, it reminded me of that. Sorry to get sidetracked there again. Magical esthetician Cookie-chan. Nice.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I said that word correctly. I never pronounced that word out loud in my entire life, but I know what it means. Like that, I know what that profession is.
Esthetician. I don't. What is it?
That's like skincare kind of like. Person. Yeah, they do like This is hard to describe. I'm just gonna hang on. I'm googling this right now, and I'm reading you Google's definition of it. An esthetician is a licensed skincare professional who provides non-medical treatments to improve skin health and appearance, including facials, hair removal, and makeup application.
Nice.
There you go. Educating Kaige today.
Yeah, new fact learned.
The ability name sounds like a magical girl show. I love her. I agree. She's like based off of a magical girl, basically. So, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It's unconventional, but super useful. Killua is just a simple-minded kid. Did they spend the whole day arguing about that?
I think that was the implication, because it like pans up to the sun, and we see it turn to night, and they're still yelling.
So petty.
Yeah.
The first time I watched Hunter x Hunter, I thought it was a shame that Gon wasted all that time training without results, and that Bluesky didn't correct him or suggest any other type of training. It's a bit boring.
It really is. This training sequence is so much lamer than the one earlier in this arc. It feels like nothing. I don't even really understand. Togashi just was not thinking at the end of this arc. He was just like, please let me write Chimera Ant. Please, God, get me out of here.
Yeah. It was either that or like editorial staff maybe was like, dude, this arc isn't really like hitting. Like, I think you gotta maybe wrap it up.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's hard to say because like the industry like that is kind of like hard to peer in from the outside. Like,
and it's all you gotta remember that Hunter x Hunter has like invincibility, so I don't really know. Like, I don't know what the editors even really do to Hunter x Hunter. I'd have to educate myself on that. Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be worth looking into. That's an interesting topic, I think. But regardless, yeah, something got into Togashi's head of like, yeah, we just need to speed through this.
Yeah.
And that's indicative of that, because this training sequence is pretty boring from everything else that's similar to it in the series. And the boomer yapping about magnetic force and Accompany isn't my cup of tea either. I mean,
no.
I don't know a single person who likes it, really, you know? Or like that loves it, that adores it, rather, cares for it. But Tara mentioned the poor guy is shocked. I think he's a little more than shocked, you know? I think he's a bit of in a depressive state.
Yeah.
Before commenting on the next episode, I want to say every time I reply to your post since a couple weeks ago, I get spam. What the hell is going on? Good question. On Bluesky?
That is interesting. I don't know.
I'm not the Bluesky guy out of the two of us, so I wouldn't.
I'm not really either. I mean, I use it every once in a while, but
use it more than me still, I bet.
No, I'm sure.
I have it. I'm horrible at checking it. Anyways, episode 10. Damn, but Tara's wife looks young. ... Yes. Yeah, that is it's a big part of their dynamic.
I'm not sure if they were married though. I think they were just dating.
I think so. Not that it matters, but you know.
No.
Yay, replay of the last episode. It's not like I just watched all of this. 8 minutes into the episode, and I just know Sasuke is out of the game. Garenu has the cards, and they're gonna fight the Boomer, which we knew from the start of the arc. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Also, why is the music so relaxing? Aren't they like in danger and such? I guess that's like the tonal whiplash you were talking about.
Yeah, there's a lot of instances of just like they are not playing the right music here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what the fuck is going on? The watch shows 1 minute, and in the close-up, 0 seconds did Cone click right there. Wait, I'm confused at what you're referring to there, but like, is that like just like an animation error, like showing the wrong time?
Probably. I didn't notice.
Well, you know what? I'm not surprised.
I
Honestly.
believe it. I believe
Yeah.
it.
And if that's the case, shouldn't that have a sound effect? They do the wildest things in this adaptation.
They sure
They
do.
sure do. Jinx. Even says Gareth says it must be her daughter or granddaughter. Ew.
Yeah, the fact that his first guess, or no, his second guess is granddaughter is so fucking funny. Like, also, it's actually really rude as well, because he starts with daughter, but then Batera doesn't even say anything. He's like, oh, wait, no, granddaughter. So, like, you could have just let it rock, bro. You didn't need to throw that in.
Yeah, well, explains why they were all so shocked, you know?
Yeah.
This is unnecessarily long. I don't think the Patera story is bad, but come on. I mean,
It's just nothing. It's just such a
nothing.
tacked on thing.
yeah. It's just a way to kind of resolve the whole, like, why Gon and Killer were hired on in the first place so that they can go to Chimera Ant as soon as they're done. Like,
Yeah, there's no baggage after the arc.
yeah.
Just move on.
Since when does Killua have long pants? I thought they were shorts.
Yeah, I guess he changed. I don't know. I recognize that too.
He got his clothes back from the game tribe that, you know, stole their clothes in the first place.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Oh hey, the white effect there when Gon dodges Genthru isn't that bad. Oh well, you know.
It was fine, I guess.
It was okay, I guess. You know, I don't think it did what it was meant to do, but you know, it's okay. And we don't really see anything else. Maybe next week. That's not true. We see the Vine Boom sound effect compilation.
Yeah, don't forget. We see the vine boom. Very important.
Very, very important. Thank you, Millie Kitty, for writing in, as usual.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, next up we have, let's see here. Oh, it's this one. How did we say this again? I don't know.
I don't know. Didn't you click on his like profile before?
Yeah,
brought up the actual
I'm too
name?
lazy for that now. Mantuabamathebula. There you go. Thank you. Who says, the whole chase scene was actually good until they started running through the forest and everyone was Naruto running like crazy. Yeah, that's pretty much what we were saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I've realized that Team Genthru have the attitudes of a bunch of middle schoolers, and Genthru would have been Bryce Anderson. Who?
So I've heard the name before. Oh, he's like a American. He's like a college football player, I think. I don't know.
Sure. But yes, I do agree they are like middle schoolers.
Oh yeah, so that's what comes up when I Google Bryce Anderson. I don't know. I don't get the reference, but I've heard the name before. I just don't get the material. So it made me laugh.
But yeah, like they do they function like a middle school bully group.
Yes. Yeah.
Including Genthru's like edgy face grab, like, oh, I'm gonna kill you guys.
To hand over the cards.
Can't wait to see what this team strategy is and hope it works against Team Bomber. Also, I don't really care about Batera's backstory, to be honest, because it just felt really unnecessary to me, and I was just like, okay, Mr. Silverhair, no one really cares that your lover died because the players of Greed Island were too slow. I just want to see Gon versus Genthru now. Yeah, fair enough. That's probably what Togashi was thinking too.
Yeah. Let's just get to the battle now. Like, it's so dumb, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right, thank you for writing in.
Yes.
Next up, we have Infinite Shadows. Sup, guys? How's the week been? It's been okay. It's been pretty good.
Oh.
Said it earlier, but I don't have much preamble, so let's just get right into the episodes. Episode 87/9. We open up right where we left off by continuing our late night / early morning call from the Three Musketeers. Oh, we're calling them the Three Musketeers now.
Three Musketeers.
Genthru, or Gensuru as my subtitles say. Gensuru. Oh my god.
Oh man.
That's rough. threatens them, only for Gon to threaten him back, only for Sasgera to hang up and propose to keep them busy for 3 weeks. Then after that, we finally get an update on the Phantom Troop with them giving Hisoka a call. Now that they found Amagane, they have their exorcist to help Crollo and asking for Hisoka to do the talking while Kabuto listens from the shadows. But then Hisoka finds out anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And I'll go on a little side tangent since spoilers, this is just another whatever episode. This might be a hot take, but I actually prefer Kabuto's York New / Greed Island era design over his Chimera Ant / 2011 and onward design. I just think the super detailed eyes are more striking, and I prefer the more textured bob cut to the very simple and undetailed bowl cut. I get that his present design is probably supposed to resemble Killua more with the eyes, but IMO, his original look was better.
It's certainly more striking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely has more like individuality to it, right? So I see where you're coming from for that. I don't know if that's like a hot take specifically. I don't really look into a lot of Kabuto talk specifically, admittedly.
Yeah, not really. People don't really be talking about Kabuto all that much.
No, I think for valid reasons, because there's not a lot to talk about.
No.
Okay, back to the episode. Hisoka asks Machi what she would do if he killed Crollo, with her replying that she would hunt him down, and that is exactly what she's doing on the Black Whale.
That's
so
right.
It all comes full circle.
Yep.
Definitely a dynamic that like they've been teasing for like a long time, and we're finally starting to see hopefully a payoff to that. So it's definitely one of the more exciting things going on in the Black Whale right now for me.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Hisoka versus Crollo we have yet to see animated. This will also be the last time we see Hisoka and the Phantom Troop in this series, and what a lackluster send-off.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I guess we do see the whole Abengane curing Crollo stuff in Chimera Ant, right? So that's
yeah, sort of, kind of, yeah.
Kinda.
We'll see him. I think we'll see Hisoka again, because Hisoka brings Abengane to Crollo. So we'll see him again at the end, I'm pretty sure, unless they cut that or something.
Well, I thought that also happened. Like, that scene happened within Greed Island. Or not Greed Island, Chimera Ant also. I could be misremembering, though. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't really matter. But, you know.
I could find out, actually. I have the volume right here.
Sure. Yeah, I can keep reading.
Yeah.
Whatever the case, thus begins the 3-week-long chase and training with Sasgera's team, Team Scalper plus Bluesky. The Team Scalper is with Leorio involved. Let's make that very clear now.
Yeah, it's Leorio Erasure.
Yeah. And the 3 Goobers. Oh, they're the 3 Goobers now. Okay. There's not much to say aside from Bluesky revealing Cookie, and not gonna lie, she's probably one of the most useful Nen abilities. Killua just doesn't see the vision. You know what? True. I'll give that a true.
Yeah.
And so, we end the episode on Sasgera's team going back to Patera's mansion only to find a lonely man's catacomb. That's a fire sentence to say right there, actually. Lonely man's catacomb.
That is pretty fire.
Episode 88/10. We start off the episode with an anime original scene, I believe, and I actually do like the additions this anime has been sorely missing since the beginning of Greed Island. The way they made Patera look is also really good too. You can see how much pain he's in just by looking at him, and can tell that he's lost everything important to him. In addition to the atmosphere they gave the mansion, this episode is starting amazingly. You know what? We didn't really talk about it much at all, but I will admit that the way they kind of like presented Patera and like his like pain and suffering that he's going through, I thought was like pretty like effective in how they were showcasing that.
Yeah, for what it was. It's still kind of a whatever plot line or whatever, but you know,
yeah. I can't find myself to be attached to Patera and what he's feeling, you know, but you know, it did the job, you know.
Yeah.
I think the anime presented it as good as it could. But then we go back to Team Scalper continuing their training, or rather just Gon. Gorenu gives them the sit rep. The sit rep, along with the 3 amigos searching for Patera's mansion also. Then we get back to Patera and Sasgera and learn his backstory. I will say, though, I don't think Patera's voice actor does a great fake cry. No, we didn't talk about that. That was the fakest sob I've ever heard.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Yeah, what can you do, I guess? And with that, Sasgera and Patera are out of the picture, so the final battle of not just this arc, but the entire anime can commence.
Yeah, true. This is it.
Yeah. After some kind of pointless running, they start the matchups with Bluesky versus Bara, Killua versus Sub, and Gon versus Genthru with like 7 or 8 dramatic camera shots. I've had a lot more positive to say about this episode than I thought. Definitely one of the better Green Island episodes, IMO. Especially after the snooze fest that was the last 4 episodes.
Yeah, wasn't bad. No,
it wasn't bad. Yeah, not outrageously bad to me, at least. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say one of the better Green Island episodes, but it's not one of the worst. So
yeah,
definitely better than some of the dodgeball episodes, like the beginning ones, anyways. I thought.
Yes. Also, I think you're correct, Don. I think that does happen on Chimera Ant because I couldn't find it at the end there.
I was right. Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you, Infinite Shadows, for your comment this week. Appreciate it.
Yes. All right, next up we got Magitech, who says, episode 87, and we begin right on the action. Genthru is making his demands, and it's all very loyal to the manga. Even the little cut to Hisoka is in the exact same place.
Oh, wow.
That's impressive.
That is, yeah.
I know last week there was a lot of talking about the inconsistency with showing Kilo's damaged hands, so I appreciate that here we can see Garenu still has a swollen face. Yeah, I admire that. I respect it. He still looked beat up. So that's good.
Yeah, it was like literally like his entire cheek was like about to bust. Like that shit looked gnarly.
About to bust.
I don't know how else to really describe it. I guess just swollen.
Yeah.
It's funnier to say it that way.
And it's around here that we get Sesgera's second big contribution to the story. Yeah, we get his plan for stalling the bombers while Gon and the rest get ready to fight them, but more than that, I'm talking about his talk with Gon. Hey, yeah, I agree. Calling him out and trying to face Genthru right then and there. Selfish and foolish. Those were his words. This is not an isolated incident. First Kite, then Wing, and now Sesgera. Oh, yeah, I guess Wing did point that out as well.
Oh, yeah. Huh. Yeah, right.
We talk a lot about people referring to Gon as a monster throughout the series, but I don't think we do mention all the times people saw it and tried to correct him. Absolutely.
That's a really good point. Yeah, no, you're right.
Cutting from that, we go back to Hisoka and the spider that just found the Nen Exorcist. Thanks to the help of their newest member, Kaluto, whose reasons for joining are still a mystery for the most part. Indeed.
Maybe when the troop starts dropping like flies, you know? we'll
maybe. Cutting from that, we go back to Hisoka and the... Oops, I just read that. Here we can see him in a style that's closer to his design on 2011. In general, this whole scene is very similar to 2011, but I'll give 99 Hisoka the credit for holding the spyglass in a more phallic manner. Yes, somebody pointed it out. I love that. That was a really good addition.
A phallic manner. I like that.
Yeah. We cut out a bit of Sesgera's team, nothing too important, and go back to Gon training with Biscuit. Yeah, I thought a little bit was cut there. It felt like we didn't see enough of them preparing for the plan. I remembered there being more of that, but it doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. And gotta say, the animation may be limited here, but Biscuit spinning with joy is honestly such a cute addition. It does a lot with little. Yeah, that was a fun little moment. The 3 weeks go on, and Sesgera and Genthru arm themselves with cards, which I only mentioned because they omitted the card clairvoyant snake, because the name rhymes in Spanish. Here we go. I'm going to try to pronounce Spanish.
Oh, boy.
Serpiente clarividente.
I think that was pretty good.
Hey, thanks.
I don't speak Spanish, but it sounded good.
Well, Dylan's a native Spanish speaker, so that's really high praise coming from him.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. You're right, actually.
English is a second language. Can you guys believe that?
No habla español.
Stupid.
Moving on.
So the episode ends with the cat and mouse chase between Sesgera and Genthru. And okay, that face on Batera is probably one of the best depictions of the whole OVA. It's just haunting. Yeah.
Praise for Batera's face here.
It did look good, yeah. I can't deny it. Episode 88, and we continue straight away. Somehow, Sesgera managed to escape, taking Batera with them. In a scene that I wish they showed, I know it's not in the manga, but I've always found it weird how we just cut from the bombers about to catch them to them safe and sound in some hotel room.
Yeah.
Especially in 2011, I feel things just move too fast there. I appreciate the extra scene here with the bombers finding an empty room where they were, is what I'm saying. But they do whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they literally see. I don't whatever. Wait.
Well,
Oh, wait.
I mean, I
Maybe
can't
was
really
reading
speak
that
on this
wrong.
one.
Hold on, actually, this
Hold.
the head guard guy. Oh. Okay.
Elaborate.
So it looks like what actually happens is the head guard greets Sesgera.
Oh, what? Oh, wait, no, that makes sense. Yeah, because they explained to Sesgera, like, yeah, everyone's gone, man. Like,
Yeah, he explains what happened. And then, yeah, I guess. But Genther still kills him, it looks like. I don't know. I don't want to waste time trying to decipher the manga panels. I don't know. Whatever. Something happens. Genther does do something. Anyhow. Where was I? Back with Gon's training, we find out that Sesgera trusted all his cards to Garenu. He really took it to heart, that revelation during the dodgeball match. You can't win this game without taking risks. We cut back to presumably Yorknu, and we get Batera, and they reuse Pakunoda's theme from the past OVA. Oh.
oh, wait, that was that?
Really?
That explains why it stood out to me. Oh my god, wait a minute. Oh my god, wait, what? Why the fuck?
Really? Huh. I know this Greed Island has been really lacking on the music department, but this is disrespectfully cheap. That's fascinating, if true. That aside, I think the flashback is well done. The transitions are well executed, and the contrast between how Batera looked back then and now is unsettling in all the right ways. Yeah. In the end, not even all the money in the world was enough. And so it's time for the big confrontation with the bombers. This has always been one of my favorite parts of the arc. I love the little play they do to trick the bombers into following them. Kilo and Biscuit really had to carry this plan on their shoulders. Yeah, I didn't mention that too, but I do love how Kilo and Biscuit are doing it to a T, and Gon is getting like all up in his own head and just focusing in on Genther, being like, I'm going to kill you right now, bro.
Yeah.
They knew Gon would end up going off script at some point. They just didn't imagine how much.
Mm-hmm.
So after seeing Gon and Genther facing each other from 11 different angles, yes, I counted them. That's awesome. 11. That's crazy.
Wow.
The episode comes to an end. Next time on Hunter x Hunter, trap, gamble, a selfish desire. But the comment goes on.
Angles. All right, yeah. Moving on to the next part of this comment. Now, this may be a shorter review than I usually do, but that's intentional, because it's a promise I want to fulfill. When Yorknu ended, I said I would share my feelings on 99 as a whole later on, and now that time has come. Why did I wait so long? Well, because I wanted you guys to get a feel about Great Island on your own before I began with my ramblings, and rewatching this also let me postpone things further than I originally planned. So without further ado, now I think I must begin with a confession. I'm a 99 fanboy.
That does make sense. You've been consistently the most positive out of our regular commenters.
Pause to recover from shock at all. Yeah, we just did that. Yeah. It's no surprise to me, really. Yeah, because like just how many positive comments you've made about many episodes where there was a lot more negativity to be said from most other people. You know.
Yeah.
And I can't not be. Even if I agree that 2011 is a better entry point to the series, I can't consider 99 a bad one because I'm sure I wouldn't be here being a Hunter x Hunter fan, listening to your podcast and writing comments every week if I hadn't caught this show on my TV 25-ish years ago. That is a long time.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, to be clear, this isn't the first time I've rewatched this series since then. Far from it. but it's the first time I've rewatched it with with company, so to speak, and that has helped me catch some things I hadn't. There are flaws in here that either don't bother me, so I didn't notice them, or I find so minor that don't hinder my enjoyment of the series as a whole. 99 is not a perfect adaptation. I may have some problems with it. You two have some problems with it, and Insert Name has all of them. But that's what I like about it. The insert name shade there. Love it. It's a combination of the good, the bad, and the weird. The moments where they drop the ball, the moments where they outshine its counterparts, and ones where it's just different and how good or bad depends more on the personal preference than objective analysis. It has its own takes and its own identity that sets it apart from the manga in 2011, which makes it a very interesting show, to analyze, and also a very interesting show to discuss. Wink, wink. And it's not just a random curiosity either, but a part of Hunter x Hunter history. From the introduction of Ponzu and Pokol as a duo to the indescribable emptiness of Kurapika, marking the end of the original series and the beginning of the OVAs. 99 left an indelible, is that how you say that? Mark on the story, both at its present and future. It's for all these reasons, and I'm not even mentioning Kite's introduction here, I believe that there's many reasons for people to experience 99.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, you know what? You make a convincing point there. Like, its differences in all of its good and bad parts of it does make it, a tangible. It makes it a valid, thing to watch to experience Hunter x Hunter. There is an identity there that is different from all the rest. For better and for worse, and for how much of that you lean towards, it all depends on just your experience with it, right? So
yeah,
I get that. Segmented dots here. That's not to say that there's not that many reasons for people to experience Greed Island. At this point, I think it's fair to say that the best part of the Greed Island OVAs was the beginning. And I think I speak for everyone listening to this right now when I say that the beginning is not the best part of Greed Island.
That's the funny part. Yeah, it's like they did the best part of the adaptation at the beginning, and then they just kind of flubbed it for the good parts of the arc.
Yeah. This is why people treat the Great Island OVAs like they don't exist. Not because they're the worst, most shameful thing to ever carry the name Hunter x Hunter. I believe that The Last Hunt holds that title firmly on its grasp. God damn, we can't go a single... Last mission, yeah. But they reminded me of that damn movie, and we cannot go a single month without any of you fuckers reminding us of that movie. God.
God.
I will forever hold that against you guys. I will never forget that movie for the life of me,
I wish I could.
As when I think that it's gone from my memory completely, or when I guess I don't remember it anymore, it always comes back from one of you guys every time. But because there's not much to say about it, not because of the worst, most shameful thing to ever carry the name Hunter x Hunter, but because there's not that much to say about it. Right? Okay. Most of the stuff that made 99 fun and unique are gone. The art style, the music, the original takes, and instead we have a very dry adaptation of the source material with lackluster animation and some not great passing. Yeah. It's a case of 2011 did it better, but it's not even a fun or interesting type of better, like the best moments of York New in 99 or the best parts of the Chimera Ants on 2011. It's just a more competent and well put together production better. It has some good moments, but they get buried under the avalanche of low budget and dull direction. In short, I love 99 despite all of its flaws, I'm assuming, and I can't wait for when we get a full episode to round down the series in a few weeks. Until then, Greed Island continues. Thank you all for reading.
Thank you. Yes, I'm excited to hear what everybody has to say on our wrap-up episode.
Yeah, because I got a general idea for how most of our regular viewers of this series feel about 99 as a whole, I think, given the sum of all their comments that we've read over the last year, over a year. Holy crap, man.
Far too long.
Yeah, far too long, to be honest. But yeah, it's going to be exciting to read everybody's overall thoughts, including yours. So thank you for giving us your thoughts here. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Okay, next up is a short little comment from Edo Kava, who says, "There's a jump press tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I hope that the Shu'u Ehi Shah Mafia announces the release date. You definitely overkilled it on that, but I see what you're doing.
I see it. Yeah. Here's hoping we can. That would be amazing. They
Please.
all we know are the series that they've done in like the teaser poster for it, which is like Sakamoto Days and JJK Modulo for some weird reason. I have no idea what that's gonna be.
No idea.
You know, Promise Neverland. You know,
Kagurabachi and Black Clover. Yep.
Yeah, those are the only guaranteed series they're gonna talk about. Anything more will be gravy, I guess. But we'll see. Here's hoping.
We will find out soon enough, I hope.
All right. Next comment is from Fillard Billmore. Checking out the OP and ED. Definitely some really nice visuals / animation in the updated OP, especially with the fighting scenes. Yeah, it looks a hell of a lot better than it did before.
Major improvement.
Lirio is the only one on screen for the first 20 plus seconds of this ED.
That's awesome.
He should have been the only one on screen for the remaining minute as well. Hashtag release the Lirio cut.
Please release the Lirio cut.
Please. Edit. I realized only after posting my comment that I only watched the beginning of the ED. I think my brain legit forgot there was supposed to be more after Leorio.
Fair. That's all you
awesome.
need.
Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you should remember the ED for. Alright, going into the episodes. Get through saying he's flattered that Sasuke would remember him is meant to be facetious, but given how peripheral he has been to the events of the arc thus far, he might as well have been sincere.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's actually really true.
It's nice of Gentry to remember all those people's names. Given their data has disappeared, he can't be reading their names off of his own book, meaning he just knows them off the dome.
Holy shit, bro.
That's impressive, honestly. You know, kudos
it's
to him.
because he carries the weight of their deaths on his conscience forever. He's a regretful character, guys. You see it?
Yeah.
He's deep.
He's very, very, very deep and layered character here we have. He may have killed them, but at least he's not rude, and that's all that matters. How sweet. True.
Yeah.
The cutaway to Hisoka's brief contact with Finks felt awkwardly placed, as it felt to me like a bit of a random interruption. As we know now, indeed. That was in the manga too, so...
Yeah.
There's an argument for that to have been reordered in 99, I suppose. This was touched on a bit last week, but I see this as a folly of direct adaptation from the source material. Okay, yeah. Which some people erroneously perceive to be the ideal approach. Yeah, we could talk all day, I think. Me and Kaige both have our opinions about, like, direct adaptation approaches and how they should be done in anime, you know? But that'd be a whole can of worms we're opening there, I think.
Yeah.
In the manga, this cutaway is at the very end of a chapter, leaving the reader on a cliffhanger of both scenes. Here, though, there is no cliffhanger, so it just felt like a strange interruption. Okay, yeah,
that makes so much sense. Yeah, that's like a classic chapter ender type thing. Like you just quickly cut away to something else as a tease. But yeah, putting in the middle of an episode. I found the man
exorcist. Whoa, what's gonna happen next?
Right.
You know, like yeah, that makes sense. But as in doing that in like 5 minutes into an episode, I think this doesn't work the same way.
No, it does not.
2011 circumvented this issue by moving the cutaway slightly so that it functioned as something of an interlude between two sections of the main scene. Yes, that's what I remember that scene happening as, you know. I prefer this choice, and I think it reflects consideration for how best to adapt the material. Absolutely agree, 100%. Sasuke's admonishing of Gon's behavior lacks the impact that I felt it should have, personally. That moment typically gives me a slight sense of secondhand embarrassment because it really feels like Gon's caught off guard and feels regretful. The not mad, just disappointed approach makes me cringe, but that's what it's meant to do. Here, by contrast, Sasuke comes off as more aggressive than I feel he should, and I'm not given the slightest impression that Gon was left to solemnly self-reflect and feel as sheepish as he should.
Yeah.
That's a good point, yeah.
It was kind of just like, it felt like it was kind of glossed over. Like it just happens and we move on. There's really no like reflecting moment or doesn't really feel big. It just happens.
Mm-hmm. They could have breathed on it, or let it breathe a little bit more, rather.
Yeah.
I feel the exchange just lacked all weight in this version. I'll try not to complain about the music too much for this batch, but it was also not helping.
Yeah.
Little Flower mentioned. Here's a personal anecdote. If you've ever wondered what type of people are Genthru fans, the answer might be me in the past.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go on. I believe I mentioned once before that I initially watched Hunter x Hunter at the advanced geriatric age of 8.
Wow.
You sure did. I do remember that. That's still insane to me. Needless to say, I liked it, but I had not yet learned shame. I don't have specific memory of this, but on at least one occasion, I LARPed Genthru by pretending to blow up my family members with little flower in a pharmacy.
That's incredible.
Kaige, we can say that we have a former Genthru LARPer
Let's
in our
go.
viewer base. Oh
That's
my
incredible.
god. This is the best news I've heard all week. That's awesome, dude. Oh my god. In a pharmacy, too. Holy crap.
Yeah. It's dangerous.
I just wonder why, of all abilities, I chose Little Flower. Maybe because it was in English, but if that were the case, I could have used bungee gum. Maybe I wanted to emulate Genthru and all of his great qualities, or maybe I just wanted to explode people. Story time over.
Probably the latter.
Probably the latter. 8-year-old brain and all, right? Could this scene... Sorry, that's just so fucking funny.
That's amazing.
Could this scene with the troop have started any slower? I checked, and there were a full 22 seconds before anyone said anything. That did kind of drag for a bit.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow. What is that purple tassel Bonelanov is wearing? Did Bonelanov always look like this in 1999?
He sure did.
Yep.
Don't really know why.
And we'll never know why. Kaluto reveal. Unfortunately, Hisoka immediately acts like a creep. The gesture with the telescope is not very subtle. No, it is not. I like Kaluto's phrasing. Was my Zetsu imperfect rather than bad or subpar? It's reflective of the expectations that he's accustomed to having placed upon him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good usage of some verbiage there. I've seen it asked, why does Gon find it so difficult to do the submission exercise when he was able to replicate Sesgera's jump? Isn't it the same idea of Nen propulsion? Oh, that's a really good question, actually.
Yes and no.
It's not the same, though, because he had the propulsion of his own legs, and adding Nen is like putting a pogo stick on a trampoline. Here, by contrast, he is attempting to propel himself upward through only emitted Nen, which is considerably more difficult. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The leave card's number is 1014. Woble's room number is 1014. Togashi has been foreshadowing all along that Woble will leave the boat. All my theories are completely infallible.
It's true. It's true.
It's
he
true.
told me.
Yeah. You heard it here first. He's a prophet.
Yep. Continuing. This choice with Batera has been a source of curiosity for me for so long. Most people are very critical of relationships with this extreme of an age gap, especially when the context is that the man is extremely wealthy. The relationship is acknowledged as atypical in-universe when Sesgera mistakes the wife for a daughter/granddaughter. Acknowledging this, you are still meant to come away from this scene with the impression that Batera's grief is pitiable. That's all well and good, but the same type of grief could have been depicted had the woman indeed been his daughter or granddaughter. Right. I find myself thinking that quite often. So the choice feels intentional, and for that reason, it interests me. Maybe she was made his wife in order to communicate that she was the last of his family. Maybe she was made his wife in order to subvert expectations, making the audience think she's a sugar baby when she wasn't. But I don't feel particularly strongly about either explanation. I certainly don't perceive it as a tacit endorsement by Togashi, but it doesn't read as a commentary either. Maybe it's just being realistic, or maybe it was indeed to set up that contrast, where despite outward appearances, the marriage is authentic rather than transactional. Still, I wonder why the choice was made, especially given Batera is not terribly important/resonant. What keeps me so curious is my mixed feelings, though maybe that's the point. The question is definitely not that important, but I've been wondering for so long that I felt I felt compelled to comment on it. Yeah, it's just a fascinating thing. I really do feel like there wasn't much thought put into it. It really could just be like, yeah, I mean, it's just to subvert expectations.
I guess. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
ultimately, only Tagashi knows, and that's kind of like the frustrating part. But like, it is interesting to think about, like how that came about. You know, like
Yeah. It's very interesting. The glow from the screen reflecting onto the characters looks terrible. Like they took the highlighter tool from the phone gallery app and dusted random parts of the figures. That's not how light works. The lighting that they do have is not changing depending on the position of the figures, and also does not seem at all related to the actual direction of the lights. It says Gara has some light on the right side of his mandible, despite the fact that the light is coming from his left. Not only that, but there's no light on the left side of his mandible, despite that being the side closer to the screen. The lighting also doesn't change with Sesgara's movements. The following scene features a flashback of Sesgara that contains more typical harsh lighting, so I really wonder why they took this strange approach instead of just bathing the characters in normal blue light. They didn't know what they were doing. Lighting has been a consistent problem with this adaptation.
Yeah, they just... At this point, I don't question, and like I don't even like bother to bring up a lot of the lighting stuff now in our discussions, just because like that's just like how it is, you know. Like
Yeah,
we'd be beating a dead horse to further death.
Kilo said it hurt just to move his hands, yet he has bent his fingers and is placing some weights on them in order to pose with his hands on his hips. Either he has what the hell is this? Either he has Munchausen or his priorities are messed up. I have no idea what Munchausen is.
Hold on, pause.
Okay.
Because I don't know either. Oh, it's a syndrome, apparently. A severe mental health disorder where someone fakes, exaggerates, or induces illness in themselves to gain attention, sympathy, and the sick role.
Oh, I didn't know that had a name. Interesting.
Yeah, me neither. Huh. Okay, we learned something new.
Yeah. This wife character is just the epitome of the dead wife at the beginning of the movie trope. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really not particularly compelled by it. Again, I'll say music is not helping. It's more fitting for a hotel lobby than the story of a young comatose woman's death. Yeah, exactly. I agree. They never do a postcard memory, yet they do one at the end of Batera's explanation when he's keeled over crying. I so often don't understand the directorial decisions made in this OVA, LMAO. Keeney dead wife Moggs Batera, by the way. Yes, dude. Keeney, my goat. Holy shit. That's such a more effectively told story than anything Batera ever has done. And it's like the same amount of screen time, too.
Mm-hmm.
Sub and Bara have the same symbols on their shirts as they do on their foreheads, and as if we don't already see it. Yeah. Just really trying to drive it home.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Bara just really likes the country of Barbados and was inspired by its flag. If he were a Barbadaboo, I'd find him more interesting. Sub symbol is meant to be a heart with some appendages, but it's drawn so strangely here that it looks a lot more like a silhouette of a Kiriko's head. Combined with his eyes, it almost looks as though he's a half-transformed Kiriko. Yeah, actually, low-key. I see the resemblance.
I see it.
Again, if that were the case, I'd find him more interesting. Has Kilo always been wearing pants? Since when have the shorts been this long? I checked the manga and he indeed wears these pants during this fight. 2011 erased the existence of these pants and kept his shorts. Oh.
That is fascinating. What the hell?
That is so interesting.
So he just
pants
randomly
erasure.
got pants. Yeah, wow. Huh.
Don't
worry, no.
Maybe 2011 did it just so to avoid this exact thing happening of like, oh, Kilo's wearing pants now?
Yeah,
they just
have to.
they just don't want to bother with it. Do you think that if one of the bombers died, Genthru would be unable to detonate the bombs with countdown since he needs to touch thumbs with members of the entourage to do so? Would the use of countdown be nullified? What if I cut Sub's thumbs off? Does that nullify countdown, or do they account for this contingency? That's a great question.
Huh.
They can't live without each other. I feel like they fall apart without each other.
The Nen ability dies when one of them dies, you know? That's how it is.
Poetic. Some of the animation and art here is looking rough. Killua looked like he was just a PNG being weightlessly dragged around with no shadow for the most of that. None of the jumping is actually animated, yeah.
I think that's part of why it looks so bad to me. I think you hit the nail on the head when I really couldn't pinpoint it exactly earlier in our discussion. Like, yeah, they weren't animating actual jumping. They were just kind of like sliding across the screen in a jump-like manner.
The invincible effect.
Let's not talk about that.
Oh man, they were trying to emulate the panels from the manga with this crosshatch line work, but it's just not doing it, IMO. If they wanted to emphasize lines more, I think they should have increased the width of the outlines and played with this perspective, rather than just flatly adding a bunch of lines on the surface of the figures. Alright, great choice to end the episode on like a dozen vine booms. Oh my god! Same thing, let's go. That aside, I do really enjoy the start to this fight. In general, not specifically this adaptation. It's a good way of actually showing the differences of the experience and emphasizing its importance of deduction and reading your opponent's behavior. I quite like this fight, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it's handled, especially Gon's injuries. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering how they'll do that. Because I remember when we watched the first episode of this OVA, we were like, so nothing's going to be censored. We're going to see it in all its gory detail. But now I kind of don't know because they've been censoring everything since then.
Yep.
We'll see. Especially since the OVAs have been so inconsistent in regards to their willingness to show gore. Yeah, exactly.
Definitely one of the more interesting questions I have going into this, so I'm excited to find that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Phil and Milmore, for writing in. Really do appreciate your comments as always.
Yes.
And last comment of the night, or night for us, we're recording, you know what I mean. It's insert name. Because I was watching the draft, I didn't have much time to think, but here's my immediate reaction after the episode. Across the board, the actual focus of the scenes and the movement of the camera in this batch, and in general, the previous episodes, is bizarre. It's always moving in an insane robotic movement that doesn't match the scene, so it feels like the camera is being controlled by the DVD logo bouncing around the screen. Later on during the chase, it moves swiftly, shifting focus on the same plane of images which just comes across unflattering. I'm sure I can ask around and find out why this whole process is violating some inscrutable law of camera work, but what I can say is there are multiple instances in episode 10 in particular of them breaking the 180-degree camera roll, and it is as disorienting as you would expect. Camera work has never been 99's strong suit, unfortunately.
No.
They have some cool like still shots occasionally, but when it comes to actually like dynamically moving the camera, it does come across as very messy sometimes.
Yeah.
Overall, for 99 OVA standards, I am pleasantly surprised by the adaptation of the batch. It still isn't good, but it is a relatively cohesive piece of media. The soundtrack and sound design continues to be annoying. The cricket sound they use at night is particularly obtrusive, but the lack of a good sound accompaniment is a consistent detriment to the efficacy of every single scene. It comes up in every reaction and it is repetitive, but it cannot be overemphasized how much and frequently a scene is actively damaged by the sound choice and sound design in this series. It's especially glaring going from 1999 and 2011 covering the same material and how obvious the effect is. Yeah, sound design is not good either. Not for the most part. I obviously have a higher opinion on the efficacy of Genthru as a villain and the material surrounding him. I fundamentally think he works pretty well in 2011 and the manga. He doesn't really work here, but he almost does, and for Green Island OVA, that's glowing praise. We take anything we can get here, huh?
Yeah.
Genthru's setup to this point has been non-existent. They have rushed through his material, rapidly setting up and collapsing the Nikkei's alliance plot in a much shorter period of time that prevents them from feeling like a more organically installed element of the arc. His design is utterly devoid of character and not easy to manipulate. Genthru's design works because it seems ordinary and like a background, but has enough substance that it can be given detail when it becomes more important. And of course, they never actually establish much of the mechanics of the actual game necessary to get the struggle that will happen between the two teams using Accompany. These failures were always going to hurt the material here. Yeah, absolutely. Big fundamental fault of the source material in general. That said, a lot of the stuff related to Genthru in this episode kind of works. In the Genthru intimidation at the start of the episode, I do like the transformation of the sky from night to day with the crimson sky over the sea in the middle of the intimidating scene. Much better than the blue-gray filter of 2011. The glint and framing they give the telescope he's viewing them from here is better than the generic wide shot they do in 2011. Showing the characters in sequence with their names instead of a static image of the crowd. Small details like this do work. Beyond that, much of the material was presented remarkably the same as 2011. So it's really tragic that the rigid structure of the 99 designs and animation erode away at this scene. The backgrounds still don't feel in the same universe as the characters. They copied the shoulders of Sezgera's soldiers, causing Kess to have these insanely broad proportions despite needing to be tall and lanky out of laziness. Oh my god, I didn't...
That's
wow.
awesome.
I'm gonna have to go back and see that. That's actually insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The scene of Hisoka and the troops scouting Abengane is remarkably similar to 2011 and actually doesn't suck. The soundtrack doesn't fit, but if you watch without sound, you'd think the scene was remarkably okay. The pacing of the training and the chase scene was a bit rushed and don't establish the actual duration and time Sezgera is successfully wasting from Genthru to give the boys time. But the actual interactions between the single-star hunter and Genthru doesn't make me want to vomit when watching it. The training with the boys has considerably less teeth in comparison, and I found myself actually desiring to see them off the screen. First time for everything, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree with your point there about like the intimidation like scene, and that like there is some like good stuff about that, but like a lot of the just 99 design philosophy stuff in general kind of do bring it down at what at its core is like a very faithful and like pretty good adaptation of it, considering 2011 did mostly the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, episode 10. The reveal of Batera's whole plot was actually done kind of well. Sure, when they enter the room, Batera is in there. There's that weird half-second zoom, and it's so incredibly jarring because they go back to normal immediately. Yes, the scene of them walking down the hallway in point of view looks so incredibly fake. And the 99 darkness makes its return.
Yeah,
it really does, in full effect here. And the animation continues to be slow and rigid, but it does a bare baseline level of stuff to establish Batera's love for his girlfriend, and then later on communicate that to Sezgera. I think they actually do a relatively good job at building stakes and quietly expressing the breakdown of Batera. That said, cutaways to establish Batera would have gone a long way in setting up this moment. You want a sense of intentionality as though the end result of the events at hand. Giving us more with Batera or these hints as to his devotion would have gone a long way to making this scene work. Yeah, no, I agree 100%, but the fault of that does lie in Jagashi specifically, I think, not really giving us much on that.
He continues and says, there's still a lot of visual weirdness in this episode. The screen is too close to the characters' faces. The transitions are utterly bizarre. The cuts between scenes don't have an intentionality into how they impact the viewer. And the movement of the camera is disorienting and doesn't flow with the action. The characters are those rigid static designs with slow-moving animations that limit movement to a tiny section of the screen at any time. One I'd like to focus on is the white screen background for Sezgera. This, of course, is the final form of cosmic light that 1999 darkness was meant to keep at bay from taking over the vulnerable ecosystem that is the screen.
Vulnerable ecosystem.
The 99 darkness humbly nibbled away at the corners, but the light, an apex predator, engulfed and consumed all background in its wake, leaving the image overexposed and too bright. Wow. The darkness lore.
That is crazy.
But in all seriousness, white backgrounds can work. It's an obvious cost-saving measure like speed lines. They aren't here. I'm not inherently opposed to them. One of my favorite series right now actively uses them to an insane degree to the point it's almost comical, but it really has to be in moments when the character's background don't matter. You're isolating the world to focus on the mental state of the characters. This is not happening here, and it's only made more comical by the fact that despite shrouding the background in light, they decided they wanted just enough background to show the silhouette of trees. Do you want background for the scene or not, 1999? Fucking choose. Those trees are gonna wilt from sun exposure, dear God.
That is really, they did not go all in for that. That is insane to think about, actually. It didn't really cross my mind in the moment of that.
He actually has a sun taped to his back. That's why the lighting was like that.
Sure.
The getting through chase with the kids actually isn't all that bad. Yeah. The camera work is jank and moving all over the place with no rhyme or reason. And whenever Nen shows up, it has this new spiraling effect with the shitty ass sound effect. But the actual movement here is pretty okay. Sure, Genthru's jaw looks like someone inserted an external hard drive into his face. But I don't care because the actual chase through the woods is actually pretty fun in that Naruto-esque moment that is jumping and fake as hell. The scenes with Accompany are shortened to lose any of the reasons for their inclusion, and the characters inside the moving aura look jank, especially when the kids and Bluesky initiate it. And yes, the camera can't seem to sit still nor get out of the characters' faces, and everyone stays still for large stretches of time, only moving the minimum amount possible. And for some reason, the art style changes when Bluesky starts running. Okay, maybe this scene isn't that great after all, but I did actually enjoy some of the kinetic moments, which is more than I can say for the rest of the OVA. They do skip through the actual chase with the cards, and for some reason the art style changes when Bluesky starts. You copy and pasted that sentence from your previous paragraph.
That's hilarious.
That's very interesting. I cannot tell if the screen going white for Genthru's aura is cool or bad. At least they tried something visually distinct. I think I kind of like it, but obviously it's not that threatening like it's supposed to be. The blocking of his attack actually looks okay. Sorta. Dun 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 und.
Did we just rip that straight from the episode?
Yeah. What the fuck was that ending sequence? I have no words. We don't need that many intense reaction shots like that. I'm glad so many people have called attention to that.
Yeah, it was so egregious.
Funny. Misc Thoughts 9. This is the 9th Misc Thoughts. Have you been numbering them like throughout the whole series? I haven't noticed. Oh wait, no, for episode number.
9.
Okay, I thought this was like a segment. Genthru mentions he doesn't know Sesgera's ability. You and I are both brothers. I want to know. I assume he's just a basic enhancer, but the fact we don't get the rest of his team's ability is sad. I guess in this version, one of them has a bowling Hatsu. Oh yeah, true. But still, the one it is just
a bowling Hatsu.
You know, we didn't really talk enough about how he was like, I have an ability that'll be great for bowling, and then 99 just decides to make it actually a bowling based ability. I don't think that's what Togashi had in mind.
No, I really want to see like an explanation or like an attempt at an explanation of how that would be like applicable as a hunter.
Oh shit. The one we do get fly on the wall from Kess is a stealth member of my favorite Nen abilities for how thoroughly it gets mogged by Dowsing Chain, even if it's a great ability to actually have.
Yeah.
Poor Bonola Niv. He looks so bad here.
Bonola Niv.
The electric effect they use exactly one time for Accompany and never again is so much better than the ones where the players are inside it. The blows in the Gon verse Bluesky sparring are atrocious. They look so bad.
When Bisky's like rapidly punching going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What did Genther blow up on the transition back to them? They actually don't show. I presume it's people, but actually make that clear. Try actually communicating his brutal reprisal of others into the fucking show. I agree.
Yeah, no, you would think that'd be something they should do, but you know.
There's a weird shot they reuse of Masadora, but aimed exclusively at the sky, and it's used in such bizarre situations. It should not have been used more than once, and the floating objects above Masadora move in the same synthetic way as the camera, and I don't like it. Misk Thoughts 10. Just want to say, man's wife didn't have to die. All they needed was a Kurapika stealth dolphin-like ability to awaken his wife's Nen,
Way.
and then have her play Greed Island. Huh.
They would have gotten an angel's breath. Yeah. Oh my god.
Huh.
Wait a minute.
Wow. Then, if they got an Angel's Breath card, they could use it on her, and the hunt would be over. That's so true.
You're kind of cooking there. Wait a minute. Just forcefully open her Nen, and well, I guess could you transport her into Greed Island while still having all the vital shit attached to her, keeping her alive? That's something to consider.
But there's and she wouldn't really be able to hear the explanation, like the rules. Like, she couldn't even walk. So how
does that work?
I don't know if she could get out of the starting area. Interesting thought.
And also, would she not get like mugged immediately by one of the fodders out there just trying to steal cards from new players?
Well, I'm sure somebody would be there at the entrance to like pick her up at least.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know if she could get out of the starting room. Like, what happens if you put an unconscious person in Greed Island? I actually really want to know.
It's like, what's her name? Just kind of just like try to explain the rules and just to like somebody who's not conscious. Like
maybe
that'd be interesting.
How old are they that they have been hunting together for 20 years? That's a long time. Yeah, it is a very long time. I don't know.
Says Gary must have been a very young man when he got hired on. Fresh out of hunter school.
Yeah, hunter school.
That's what it is, right?
Yep.
All right, thank you, insert name, for your comment. And that actually does it for community comments this week. We had a really big one today, so thank you all to those who wrote in. And if you want to join these lovely people, make sure you keep an eye out for the YouTube community posts going forward, as well as the call-out posts for Twitter and Bluesky. And, of course, you can still email us if you so choose at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com.
That's right. And with that, this has been the Hunter Association. Thank you so much for listening. We are available on all major podcasting platforms as well as YouTube for the video version. Be sure to follow, rate, review, and comment on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter at TXHXAPod, as well as Bluesky at THAPod for updates on the show as an alternative way to instant responses to the weekly call-out posts. As always, we're here at the same time every week talking about Hunter x Hunter. Dylan, where can people find you online?
You can do so at DJ Tengen. That's DJTENGEN on both Twitter and Bluesky. Go give me a follow if you're interested in what I'm up to.
And you can find me on YouTube and Bluesky at Manga Kaige.
He reads manga.
I read manga. Okay, for the show next week is Character Retrospective Week, and we are doing an interesting one that I'm pretty excited about. We're doing Paku Noda.
Yeah, we needed more women to talk about
yes.
for retrospective, so this is a pretty good one to talk about, I think. So I'm pretty excited as well.
Yeah, that'll be a cool one. So start thinking about that. Community post will be up in the next day or two.
Also relevant considering they reused Paku Noda's theme from '99 apparently.
Apparently.
So, planned that one out pretty well, I guess.
I guess. But then after that, guys, just 2 more weeks of 99 and it is over. That's crazy.
Wow. That is
what a journey.
Insane, actually, I think.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's all I got for this week. Tune in next week for Paku Noda, and we will see you then. Thanks for listening or watching. Take it easy.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.